There was once a small village nestled between dark forests and whispering mountains. The village was called Evershade, a place with no laughter, no cries, no arguments. Silence lived there, not peace. Every face wore the same quiet mask. Children never wept. Parents never raised their voices. Lovers never fought. Pain was never spoken. Joy was whispered, then quickly buried. People believed if you don't talk about it, it disappears. In the center of the village stood a mysterious house, boarded up and worn by time. No one entered it. No one mentioned it. They called it the House of Silence. In this village lived a young woman named Ilara. She was 17, curious, bright-eyed, and strange. Strange because she felt things deeply. When she was sad, her eyes filled with tears. When she was angry, her fists clenched. But her mother would hush her every time. Ilara, don't show your feelings. People will think you're weak. So Ilara learned to swallow her storms. She smiled when she was crumbling. She stayed quiet when she wanted to scream. She started to think maybe she was broken. Then one day, she met an old traveler outside the village. He was resting under a tree, humming softly. His face was wrinkled with both sorrow and joy. "Why do you hum?" she asked. "Aren't you afraid someone will hear?" He laughed. "Child, emotions are not monsters. They're messengers. Ignore them, and they shout louder." Ilara stared. "In our village, no one talks about their feelings. We just survive." He looked toward the boarded-up house. "Ah, still locked up, I see. What's in that house?" Ilara asked. The traveler's eyes darkened. "That house holds every emotion your people buried. Pain, rage, grief, love, all sealed in one place. But emotions don't vanish, they wait." That night, a storm hit Evershade, a real one. Thunder cracked open the sky. Rain poured like it was trying to wash away years of silence. In the morning, the village square was flooded, and something was different. The House of Silence had a crack in the door, and strange things began happening. Mrs. Talma, the always smiling baker, suddenly collapsed in tears while kneading dough. She had lost a child years ago. She never spoke of it, but now she couldn't stop crying. The village healer, Mr. Kent, screamed in the marketplace. "I hate this place," he yelled. "I hate how we pretend everything's fine when we're dying inside." More cracks appeared in the house. Every day, another villager unraveled. Some cried, some raged, some shook with old grief that had waited years to be heard. The village panicked. "It's a curse," they shouted. "Seal the house again." But Ilara felt something else. Relief. One night, Ilara made a decision. She would enter the House of Silence. Not to lock it again, but to understand. With a lantern in hand and a heart full of fear, she stepped through the door. It wasn't what she expected. No monsters, no ghosts, just rooms, each filled with emotion. The room of anger burned hot. The room of sorrow dripped with tears. The room of guilt had mirrors that showed your deepest regrets. The room of love was locked, not by force, but by fear. As she walked through, each emotion reached out to her, not to hurt, but to be seen. In the final room, she met a small, shivering child. It was her, at age 7, crying over her father's death. No one had let her grieve. They told her to be strong, to smile, to move on. So that version of her had stayed, frozen in time. She knelt and hugged the child. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "You were allowed to cry." And something shifted. The house? Ilara came out of the house the next morning. Different. People stared. She looked calm but powerful. "What did you see?" they asked. She didn't answer with fear. She answered with truth. "I saw every part of me I was told to bury, and I listened." "But emotions destroy us," someone shouted. "No," Ilara said. "Avoiding them does. Emotions are like weather. You can't stop the storm, but you can learn to dance in the rain." Some villagers turned away, afraid, but others leaned in. Mrs. Talma shared stories of her lost son. Mr. Kent opened a small healing circle. For the first time, people talked. Not perfectly, not without pain, but honestly, and slowly Evershade began to change. The silence remained, but now it was the peaceful kind, not the fearful kind. Years later, Ilara became the village guide, not a leader, not a ruler, but a listener. She taught the children, feel everything, hide nothing, be brave enough to meet your sadness, be curious about your anger, don't run from pain, ask it what it wants you to learn. The House of Silence was never sealed again. Instead, it became a place of stories, a temple for the soul. Ilara carved words on its doorway. Discomfort is the price of admission to a meaningful life. Moral lessons. Avoiding emotions doesn't protect us, it imprisons us. Courage is not the absence of pain, but the willingness to feel. Emotional agility is not about controlling your feelings, it's about letting them teach you. You are not broken for feeling deeply. You are human. The only way out of pain is through it, with compassion and curiosity.